What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lantern, bringing you the transaction series. This is the third installment of the transaction series, I believe. This is transactions made during week 2, active for week 3. I do only have 2 transactions for you guys. I believe we only had two transactions last week as well, but this is only from one team. I was anticipating not to have a video at all, but Jay ended up making some transactions, so that's what's on the schedule today. Now, to preface this, each team has to get all of their transactions in by week 8. Each team is allowed 3 free agent transactions and an unlimited amount of trades. Excuse me. Transactions have to keep you within your tier requirements, which is 1 tier 2, 2 tier 3s, 1 tier 4, 1 tier 5, and a mega, and within your points limit, depending on the mega that you chose. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to it. First up, Jay ended up dropping Porygon 2 for Cloyster. This gives him a little bit more of an offensive water type on his team, which I kind of like. I'm not a big fan of him dropping P2 because it was a Trick Room setter for his team, and his team kind of relied a little bit on Trick Room. It also means that he doesn't have a Ghost immunity on his team anymore. Now, granted, he does still have a Ghost resist in the Bisharp, but let me just check here if that's the only Ghost resist he has. Yep, that's the only Ghost resist he has is the Bisharp. So Ghost seems pretty spammable against his team, to be honest, although Bisharp is a really good Pursuit Trapper. Uh, well, while losing a Trick Room setter, he does give himself more hazards. Before, he did not have spikes or toxic spikes. He only had stealth rocks. So now he's given himself some more variety on the hazards, and he's also given himself another rapid spinner. So he's got some more removal options for Tornadus and Camel. Not that Camel takes them neutrally. So mostly for Tornadus because his team was pretty much taking them neutrally anyways. This leaves him with 2 transactions remaining. And then his second drop was dropping Jellicent for Dusclops. So he loses another water type, which he made up for with the Cloyster drop, and he picks up the Dusclops. I believe Dusclops is a Trick Room setter, so he's sort of just exchanging Jellicent for Dusclops that way. This does make his team a little bit more knockoff weak. Um, Not that it wasn't already with the Jellicent, but losing a Violite seems to be much more. Pardon me. Losing a Violite is a little bit more serious than losing like a Cobra Berry or something on the Jellicent. Anyways, he loses a bulky water, so he actually, in my opinion, he lost quite a bit of bulk on here, just because Dusclops has to rely on rest for recovery, whereas Jellicent gets recover. And Jellicent, in my mind, just was a better wall because you can do damage when you burn things instead of having to rely on Will-O-Wisp. I just generally feel like Dusclops is an extremely passive mon, and Jellicent can actually function as a what's the word that I'm looking for? Not passive. It can function more as an aggressive mon on the team. Um, I did feel like Jellicent was a little bit better on the squad, but Dusclops is a tiny bit bulkier because of the Eviolite and its amazing defenses. It's just too bad that it has an abysmal base HP stat to back those up. It does mean the Pain Split is pretty amazing on the Dusclops though. So he actually lost a little bit of speed because Jellicent and P2 were both base 60 mons, so he had 3 base 60 mons and he replaced 2 of them. Clefable being the other one that's left. Cloyster gave him an increase in 10 speed points, and then Dusclops gave him a decrease in 35, so he comes out 25 speed points slower, which really doesn't matter on his team since it's the slowest in the entire league anyways. Uh, so, we'll sort of see how this plays out for him, how these drops play out for him. They are active for week 3, and he does have 1 transaction remaining. Again, he can still make as many trades as he wants, but they do have to fit within the point limit. And Jay had the most points to play with, I believe, out of anyone, because he took Mega Camerupt, which was the lowest tier Mega. So that's sort of, sitting on the table. So that's pretty much all for me. You can check out Jay's channel and my channel in the description, and I will see you guys later.